Hey, hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome in. Thanks for joining us tonight. We got a packed show for you, and we're not going to waste any time to get started. I'm going to throw it over to Will because he does our first roundtable. Hey, Will, how you doing, buddy?
Doing great. How is everybody? Getting started real quick. Just want to say shout out to America. A lot of changes this week, and a lot of them are very welcome. So shout out to America if that's a thing. Uh, you know, Talking about January, especially the end of January, today would have been the 31st anniversary of the 1994 Royal Rumble. And I remember it like it was yesterday, watching it on pay-per-view. And, it really got me thinking about Royal Rumble season. I'm looking forward to this year's Rumble. But historically looking back at Rumble is really what I like to do. So I've been watching them slowly but surely. I'm up to 1991 right now, and I'm planning on getting through some more this week. So definitely, if you get some time, go back and check out some old Rumbles. First roundtable question for tonight is this: 2025. What do you see happening, or where do you see your collection going in 2025? We'll start with you, Kev.
Up. More. I've already started. I've already spent a lot in 2025. It's going up, and I'm just going to, it's an investment. So I just keep on doing it. I'm going to spend as much money on my collection 2025 as I ever did in the past years. So it's going up and it's growing.
Okay. Calvin, what do you see coming with your collection in 2025? Is there certain things you want to focus on, or what do you think about your collection this year?
I mean, technically, I feel like my collection's complete since I got that picture with Hogan. But I mean, I'm gonna add Hogan autos to it regardless.
Yeah.
So I'm constantly adding.
Okay. Ben, what do you see your collection in 2025?
I feel like it's gonna be about the same. If it's something I want, I'll go on and buy it. If it's also too, I feel like more like this year, I want to meet the talent or meet some of my legends while I can, and then get stuff from them. But anything to the WCW, the loving the Monday night War figures, and then some of the ultimates, and then can't forget the classics or the classic superstars or the superstar line that come out right now. Those have been my favorite ones, and then heck that uh the retros. That next set I'm really looking forward to with the no holds bar, Hogan and Zeus, Sherry, Elizabeth, and the brother love with the ring. Those are what I'm really looking forward to.
Nice. Roger, where do you see your collection going in 2025?
Um, like everybody else, I only see it going up. I'm starting to be more particular about my collection as far as what I collect. As far as like, for instance, my Bray wall or the certain figures. I'm looking forward to getting the new series that are coming out with the build a figures and things like that, and certain figures like the whatever Hogan figure comes out because I've collected basically everyone that's come out since I started collecting, um, and different things like that, and certain figures that I know that I could possibly get signed just to help extend or upgrade my collection, if you will.
Right.
So that's where I'm looking at going with it.
Good deal. King Phil, what do you see happening with your collection in 2025? What are you going after?
So, my collection's kind of all over the place. I got figures and boxes. I've got loose ones, 8x10s. I've got a lot of different stuff. So, obviously, I want to expand, but just to narrow down, I really want to focus on a lot of talent that's not going to be around very much longer. Make sure I have those autos. So, that's kind of where I'm going to focus on now. Figures, of course. I almost grabbed a Yokozuna Ultimate today, but me and the guy, we couldn't line up on the right time to meet. So when I went to meet him, he had been waiting like probably 20 minutes before I got there, and then I was late, and he ended up leaving, so we didn't get to link up. But I was gonna get that Yokozuna because I want to get my GOAT list or my top, kind of my top 50. I want to start with the top 50 that I like and kind of build out from there. All the different genres. I'm not really genre conscious at the moment, so I just want to make sure that I get the people that's not going to be around very much. Make sure I got those people.
Great answer. I love it.
Fantastic.
So for me, this year, I think for me is going to be all about the retros, all about the
Yes,
Hasbro's,
sir.
the retro line. I'm almost 100% complete on the Hasbro's, but these retros that are coming out to go with the Hasbro's are just incredible. So, just like Ben said, man, the retro line is just complete fire. So, all great answers. My second question for the roundtable tonight is going to be this: if you could meet one talent in 2025, and we have the whole year in front of us, if you can meet one talent this year and only one, who would it be, Kev?
Oh, wow. I'm looking ahead, so I'm looking.
Definitely
probably,
good question.
probably Ric Flair. Ric Flair. I'd love to. I want to. Any chance you get to meet Ric Flair and Hogan, because as soon as Hogan has another signing, I'm flying down there. But probably I got to say more Flair than Hogan, just because his lifestyle. He's still looks like he's going to kick over any minute, and I'm not sure. Yeah, I think he still thinks he's got one more match in him, and he doesn't. But you never know what he's going to do. So if I could just pull one out of my hat and say, here, because I don't think there's any around here, I'd want to pull one out, and Ric Flair would be close.
Okay. Calvin, if you could meet one talent this whole year, who would it be?
I mean, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna agree with Kev, Ric Flair. Granted,
Okay.
I'd love to meet Hogan again.
Okay. All right. Roger, who would you pick?
The exact same. I'd love to meet Ric Flair. Um, and in the same instance, I'd love to meet Hogan. So if I
Okay.
had to choose between the two, which one would I pick? Obviously, I believe, just like Kev believes, that Flair's on his last leg, unfortunately.
Okay.
And with his uh, ways he's going right now, he's not helping himself any. So
Right.
I believe that Ric Flair, if I had to choose, just like we always say, invest in Flair, Hogan, Jerry Lawler. If I really wanted to not wish ill on anybody, but say which one would I believe would go first, I would go with Ric Flair, which would make it I'd want to meet Ric Flair because I don't believe he's going to be around for that very long. Although I really do hope I'm wrong.
I agree. Okay. Ben, one talent. If you could meet one talent this whole year, who would it be?
Well, as many shows as we got lined up, there's a lot of talent out there. Uh, the obvious answer is Sting, but uh, who I'm looking forward to that I have not met that's at a show is Tori Wilson. I'm looking
Okay.
forward to seeing Tori Wilson.
Okay. That's a good one. King Phil.
If I could meet anybody, any talent right now, it would probably be main event Jay Uso, just because he's bringing the heat right now. I think his energy is you know it's captivating. It's definitely
He's
somebody you
huge.
want to be around and get. He just brings that positivity, and that's all we look for in life is a little bit of positivity. So Jay Uso's got a lot of positivity he's spreading. So I think I would like to hang out with him for a while.
I like that. So mine, obviously, I talked about this a lot, but there's only two talents out there that really I get excited about going to see. One of them's Lex Luger, and the other one's Ric Flair. So, I mean, I'm getting ready to see Flair in a couple days, and I hope to see Lex sometime later this year. So that would be mine that I would pick. So, Kev, where are we at next? We got some good questions about the Rumble, right?
Maybe we do. I want to add on to King Phil and about how big and huge Jay Uso is. They're doing some signings the what weekend of Rumble up in Indianapolis, and Jay Uso's sold completely out before anybody else. Before Rhea Ripley,
Wow.
Punk signed out, and I think Cody Rhodes, but Jay Uso sold out completely way before anybody else did. So that lets you know how
Just
hyped up and
this past Raw, when he came out and the little kid has got the Jey Uso shirt with his dad, and they got the. I don't know if y'all seen Raw this past Monday, but to
right.
start Raw out, Jey Uso came out there and just yeeting, and everybody's going nuts, and it's like, damn, that's crazy because it just feels like wrestling back in the day when the whole crowd was involved in the matches and the signs that we used to have with wrestling, and it just
Yep.
gives you that old school vibe, kind of. It's new school, but it's got the old school feel of the way he's
Right.
over. Because back in the day, I feel like that they were a lot more over then than they are now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Speaking of old school vibe, has anybody heard from Nicholas?
No,
Nope.
I haven't.
I ain't heard from nobody except for what's in this room.
Kind of weird that he didn't respond and isn't on.
All right, guys, we got some. Speaking of the Royal Rumble, we got some Royal Rumble questions that we're going to go around and answer. And I've thought of this because I wanted to know your all's opinion. If you can make changes to the Royal Rumble match itself, if you'd want to, change to make it better or whatever you'd like, what would it be and why? Uh, I'll go last. We'll let Calvin go first.
So quit making it so obvious who's going to win. I mean,
Understood
the
that.
past 2 years, Cody has won it. It's obvious Cody was going to win it just to finish his story. I mean, quit making it so obvious.
So do you
Well,
think
if you
it's
look at
obvious
it
this year?
this year, if you look at it this year, it's not so much because unless you're going to say
Well,
John Cena, because you could have CM Punk, John Cena. I mean, you could have
Drew
anybody this year. So
McIntyre,
yeah,
well, I mean, yeah,
Roman.
this year's up in
it,
the air.
yeah, it's
Yeah,
wide
this
open
year
this
is,
year.
and it feels a lot better too than it is because, like Calvin
Yeah,
said, it's kind of
I
been.
agree.
Yeah, I agree, Calvin.
Oh. All right, Will.
I talked about this before, and I'll stick with my main thing that we talked about. I think if we could change one thing in the Rumble, every single Royal Rumble should be for a world title. There should never be a Royal Rumble that's for
Hell yeah.
chances to win something down the road or anything else. The champion should have to defend their title in the Royal Rumble, and I think that sets it up to be an even bigger event. Royal Rumble to me is the second largest event of the entire year. WrestleMania obviously is number one, and they say SummerSlam is number two, but I have never believed that as far back as I go. I think Royal Rumble is the second largest event of the year. And I truly believe the actual Royal Rumble match should be for, like, if you have the WWE Championship defended later on the card, then that's fine. But you should have the World Heavyweight Championship defended in the Royal Rumble or vice versa. I've always thought that, and I'd still stick with that. I think that's a big thing. Another thing, too, that I always thought would have been cool, and y'all may think this is crazy, but like if you had a talent, for example, say back in the early 90s, Undertaker was in the Royal Rumble. I always thought it would have been cool if the managers got involved. Like they're not actual participants, but say they got in the ring and they got in there to help their talent and stuff like that. A lot of years the managers weren't even allowed at ringside. So I know that's kind of odd, but I mean, I could picture Paul Bearer swinging a chair and knocking somebody out to help the Undertaker, advance further into the Rumble. Just an example. So
And then if the manager gets thrown over the top rope, then the wrestler gets thrown out too.
no, because they're not actually an entrant. But I always thought,
Right.
it would have been cool to have, like Bobby Heenan's guys, the Heenan family were in the early Rumbles, and to have Heenan jump in there and hit somebody with a chair or low blow somebody or whatever, and
Sure.
help their talent advance. Because you got to remember the early Rumbles, managers weren't even allowed at ringside, and I always thought that was kind of stupid.
I agree. Mr. Roger Elkins.
Well, from other than what Calvin was talking about, which I do agree with, but I think that's more of a creative thing going from leading up to it. Um, I don't have an issue with the actual Rumble itself. Um, I like the way that it's set up where you don't know who's coming out, and you have the surprise guests. So I really enjoy that part of it. However, I do have to agree with Calvin. Don't make it so obvious, but I think they're doing a good job this year in making it a 3 or 4 person possible win that you don't know right now. But you also have to look at the caveat of that, and the wild card is okay. What special guests are they going to have pop in? So to me, I wouldn't change much other than that. But I don't think that's something. I think that's a creative deal, not a actual Rumble deal. So I like how it is. I enjoyed the Rumble itself. Um, I just wish that well, I mean that's it. I enjoy the Rumble as it is. But I'm with Calvin. I didn't enjoy the last two because you knew who was gonna win it.
Hey, Kev,
Yes, sir.
you know why the World War III Rumble in WCW never really took off like it should have?
Too many rings.
Well, yeah, that sucked too. But think about it. The excitement of the World War III was never there because they put everybody out at one time and let them all
Right.
start
Yeah.
at once. If you had entered them, like say every 20 seconds, somebody new came in, you could have done it within the time period that you wanted to do it. And go back and think about those World War III pay-per-views. If you had made talent enter like every 20 seconds or every 30 seconds, whatever it may have been, how much better would the World War III have been versus all 60 men going out there at one time? And I mean that really sucks if you think
It
about
is
it.
so
Looking
much
back on
better
it,
if they would have come out. Yeah.
absolutely, and
Plus,
and
you
I
get
think they
more of a
should have.
pop.
Yeah, absolutely. You would have had that excitement. That's what happened with the World War III is on paper, a 60-man battle royal sounds tremendous until you cram all 60 of them into three rings and you can't watch what you want to see because your favorite guy is in the middle ring, your second favorite guy is in the third ring, your first favorite guy or your 10th favorite guy is in the second ring, the first ring, the third. Where the hell do you look until it got
Right.
down to that last, 15 or 20 in one ring, then it got pretty good. But if you had just spaced that out, one ring, 20 by 20 ring, right? And
Hmm.
every 30 seconds you had talent coming in there, you could have had so many throwaway guys that you could have thrown out of the ring. You could have kept plenty of room in one ring, and you could have made it its own World War III the way it should have been. And I think that would have helped that pay per view garner that much more attention, that much more pay per view buys, and everything else. So I've always thought about that. We've never really got into a big conversation about it, but I think right now, talking about Rumbles, what a
Right.
great time to talk about something like that.
Yeah.
Because you didn't even know who got thrown out. I mean, you'd
No,
find out
no,
15 minutes later that Bagwell got thrown out.
yeah,
And I like the
Yeah.
concept. And even if they would let people come out, just a few at a time, if the one ring's starting to fill up, somebody can just throw somebody in another ring like they have a settle to score and just start beating the crud out of each other.
yep,
But
Yeah.
don't have all three filled at the same time. That's what ruined that for me.
yep. And if you think about it too, old school battle royals were a lot like that too. And then eventually they
Yes.
got away from that concept. You don't see the old school battle royal anymore. You don't see that in any independent. You don't really see that in the minor leagues of wrestling where you put 20 people in the ring and let them go for it. You don't see it like you did 70s, late 70s, 80s, early 90s where they just did that concept all the time. It doesn't work.
Yeah. I agree.
Exactly. Mr. Bowman.
Sitting there thinking about like the change is have to either have some of the decent, like the names that compete for a world title in it instead of having a bunch of the guys that are gonna have no chance in hell of winning and wasting a spot, by having those guys in there and just to do a quick elimination or uh just have to have a good 30 men battle royal or women Now WWE has enough for where they can do the women as well. But to have 30 bigger names all go in there, and then to do the surprise guest, have it where it's not going to be somebody that just comes out of the out of the blue, because they're taking a spot away from a talent that's on there. So have it where if it's going to be a surprise guest, make it like an older, if it's going to be an older wrestler, somebody that still can wrestle. Like the perfect example on that, no pun intended, was when Mr. Perfect came back and actually almost won the damn thing. That 2002, 2001, or three time.
2002, I think it was, right?
Yeah.
I think it was
Performance
2002.
got him a contract.
Yeah, that was a great surprise guest. Still have the surprise guest because it's going to be the all factor. Oh wow, they're in the Rumble, or like when Cena come back and won it. Uh, have that surprise guest to be somebody that's worth a shot in the Rumble instead of just it's celebrity so and just a wasted spot that takes away from a talent. And that's the only things I would change.
One thing I
So
would
you're saying leave
add to
Logan
that.
Paul out, right?
You what?
You're saying so leave Logan Paul out, right?
Yeah, yeah, and because like I said, even though he's under contract, I just saw a story where he's demanding $250 million or something to go fight
Yeah, I
Conor.
shared that in the chat.
Yeah,
Five
that's
hundred
what,
fifty million.
while wasted on that, but he's being honest, a legit contender. He was a U.S. title champ, but I would still do it on somebody that's wrestling right now. Now, if I had a surprise guest, I think it would do good. It could win it. Will be Brock Lesnar. Nobody's talking about Brock. There's a surprise guest.
Well, so here's something to throw out there with the new merger. I don't know if you want to call it a merger, but the new conglomeration between TNA and WWE. So you put some TNA people in there, but you're not going to have them in WWE doing anything really, are you? Or are you just going to start new storylines with TNA people in WWE?
Well, I mean, you could.
So,
They have
Yeah.
contracts. You
Yeah.
could.
Yeah, you
well,
could.
right, but in the same instance, then are you taking away spots from other WWE wrestlers or maybe some NXT people you could bring up? I mean, that's one of those situations where you're like, okay,
All right.
what do you want to do? Do you want to bring up some talent you have, or do you want to bring in talent or bring in old talent?
Yeah.
It's all about that pop factor.
And I
So
actually
one
got a
thing.
question. So like, let's say Joe Hendry, that would be the
Yeah.
pop of the night. Should he be in it, even though he won't win it? But that would give them the biggest pop of the night. Should he be in it?
But how do you truly know that he won't win it? How do you truly know that? Because if
I
they're
can
paying him to
You
be
don't.
there,
I can
I
tell you
mean,
I can tell you why. He just won the TNA World Title.
that's even better. That's even better. You got the
But if they
TNA
want to
World
push,
Champion. You got the
But
TNA
to
World
push this
Champion
merger,
versus Gunther for the world title. So I mean, I
The
don't
only,
I
yeah,
don't
but
disagree with it. But what the point that I wanted to make on Ben's point, because Ben had a great point with the basically the useless talent. Ben had a great point. Is sometimes you think the guys that are not going to make a difference in the Rumble end up being the biggest deal in the Rumble. So,
yeah,
for example, 1994, we talked about this one earlier. Diesel went in. Diesel really wasn't a very well known talent at the time, and Diesel was the talk of the 1994 Rumble. It ultimately led to him becoming Intercontinental Champion, Tag Champion, World Champion, all inside the same year. And
yeah,
it's not just that one. There's been many times, Kane, for example, Kane goes into, say the 2001 Royal Rumble and throws out more talent than anybody else. And nobody expected Kane to win that Rumble, but that was really Kane's Rumble, even though Austin won it and it come down to Austin and Rock. There's been so many different ones. 1998, not very many people remember that Stone Cold won the 98 Rumble, but everybody remembers that Mick Foley entered that thing 3 times. So sometimes that useless talent or what you think is the useless talent, sometimes it does make a difference. It really depends on who it is. So, but
Yeah.
great point by Ben about the useless talent. Like, I think Ben's referring more to like the Drew Carries. Like, what the hell was the
Yeah.
point of Drew Carey being in the
Yeah.
Royal Rumble? Mr. Perfect being in the Rumble was a great point made by Ben because he had a phenomenal match, and you really truly believed, holy cow, this guy's coming out of nowhere and going to win this thing. You
Right.
know, and looking back on it, Ben, I think it was '03 because I think it was Lesnar that eliminated him because in '02 Triple H won. So I think it was '03, but
Yeah.
we were pretty damn close. It was '02 or '03, but I'd have to go back and look at it. But I think it's '03.
Yeah,
Um,
it's same thing as Santino Morello coming in for 2 seconds.
Yeah.
yeah,
Well, and
so
then right there,
there's gonna be some bums. You gotta have some bums in there. You gotta have a bushwhacker coming down doing the shit, right? And then he gets in the ring and falls over the rope and still freaking
Yeah.
doing this shit all the way back to the thing, you know? So you're gonna have some bullshit. You gotta have some bullshit, right? But I think sometimes the talent, you guys like that, the old bushwhacker thing. So
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
That's
sometimes
awesome.
the talent has to be, in there to make the difference. Look at 1990. Was it 90? I think it was 90. Ultimate Warrior was in there. Nobody expected Warrior to win the Rumble. Hogan was in it as the champion. And of course, Hogan did win, but it come down to Warrior and Hogan would set up WrestleMania 6. That was a big deal. So, but go ahead. I'll stop
Ahead,
digressing the
Ben.
real quick,
conversation.
too, about the Royal Rumble. Uh, the only other time I could think about where we just talked about the useless talent, well, was Santino Morello when he almost was the last two against him and Alberto Del Rio, and then
Yeah, he was.
Alberto won. And then something I didn't think about too. Hopefully, I don't steal it from Phil. Is instead of the winner, because a lot of times lately, besides Cody, it's been some of these guys you kind of wouldn't expect, wouldn't obvious, and then their main event in WrestleMania. Maybe take that instead of if they're winning the Royal Rumble, maybe not main event WrestleMania. Maybe have that pay per view afterwards or somewhere in between there. Because usually your main event, you want the headlines like Roman Cody, the big names instead of, for example, Sheamus winning right now, Sheamus versus Gunther. Is that really a main event for WrestleMania? I don't think so, but that's
Well, I mean, I think what
Yeah.
makes it the WrestleMania main event is the fact that they're wrestling for the title. I don't think it matters who it is. I mean, you could do it. I'll just throw some bullshit out there. What if Jay was in there and Jay won, and then he's all of a sudden now he's facing Gunther at WrestleMania? You're getting that at Royal Rumble, but I mean, it would be no different if they won it. Then they could go on and win that
But I
or
think I think
challenge it.
25 years ago, the headline was the title match itself. Now
Right.
Yeah.
Now it's different.
the character name weighs more than the title belt. Like you don't care about the WWE title match anymore specifically, but you care that Jay Uso is facing The Rock. You know what I mean? Like you care the weight of the name of the character
Yeah.
weighs more now than it did. So like in '99, coming out of Royal Rumble '99, going into WrestleMania 15, if they said it's for the WWE Championship, everybody was like, it doesn't matter who's in that match because it's going to be big, and ended up being Rock and Hogan. But you know, nowadays, if you said WWE Championship match, they're like, yeah, but who's in it? So the whole
Right.
mindset of the fan has changed to where we want to see WrestleMania with CM Punk, and we want to see it with The Rock, and we want to see it with Undertaker, or whoever it may be,
Yeah.
not necessarily who walks out with the belt. Like the whole Cody versus Roman for me was bigger than the fact that it was for the world title. And I called my match of the year last year that tag match, which was Cody and Seth versus Rock and Roman. And to
Yeah.
me, that was the main event, not Cody versus Roman. So, but I'll be
Yeah.
quiet now, Phil. You go,
Very
Phil.
true.
Tell us all to shut up.
No, it ain't that. So I've been thinking. I've listened to all you all, you know, your choices, and I really don't know what I would change, man. I kind of like it the way it is. The only thing I don't really like, I guess, would be um, the way it's a little bit predictable. But like we said, this year is going to be a lot better because I really don't know who's going to win. I mean, there's a lot of different storylines you can go with, but there's already so many different storylines, and they all kind of intertwine like they used to back in the day. So it's not just random storylines. The last couple of years, it's felt like Cody's got to finish his story. You just seen Cody. I mean, he just came in and he beat Seth over and over and over, and that kind of made me mad because you built Seth up this whole time, and then you let Cody come in and just beat him 3 times. Like it was just, I don't know, but it just seemed like it was a little bit predictable. But that'd be the only thing I would change would be, that. But I'm even okay with like the Drew Carries and all of them, just because that's what the Royal Rumble's always been. It's always been a surprise. But yeah, I guess the predictability.
Okay.
All right, cool. So mine it's completely different than anything you all said, and it may be just stupid, but when it comes to when they say about the winner, whoever got won, drew one, that's all they ever talk about is whoever drew one lasted so many minutes. They never talk about who drew two. So I think they might as well just get rid of the two and call them both entries, 1 and 2, the first entry, because you just don't, when it comes to you know the information, that's all you hear is who won at number 1. You don't hear who won at number 2, even though they both start at the same time because they're both number 1. And like I said, it may be just me, but
No,
to
I
me it's
get what
just,
you're saying.
if they're both starting at number 1, call them both number 1, and then just start going 3 after that. Just eliminate 2 because there's no reason for a number 2, because, and then that way if somebody wins it and they're the second one, they can get that recognition as well.
I
Well,
wouldn't have
so then
minded. I wouldn't have
if
minded seeing the Bushwhackers start number 1 and 2 and beat the hell out of each other.
Just like the
so
demolition did.
Hey, so the Bushwhackers is definitely in my top 5 all time. I love the Bushwhackers. That's why I was laughing so much when Will started doing that, because I was just watching. I was watching something the other day, and the Bushwhackers was in there, and they had the craziest energy because they do all that for 10 minutes before the match even
Hell yeah,
starts.
But
dude! Can you
do you
imagine?
understand what I'm?
Can you imagine how disgusting it was just walking around licking fans' faces?
Yeah,
Like,
man.
what the you didn't need any kind of like immunizations or shots or anything, man. You've
Right.
already got every sickness on the planet Earth from licking people's faces randomly. Like,
All
see, if
across the world.
you did that shit today, you'd be in prison.
Yeah.
You know,
Exactly. So do y'all see? Do you
I
see
get
where
it.
I'm coming from though? About just
I
records
get it.
wise, you know?
I get it. I totally understand. And it's the same amount of time, but
Yes,
it's literally how they base the rumble. It's based on numbers. So that's like saying the same number of people that entered at number 1 have won, that entered at number 27 have won. So I get it, but they have to number the participants. So
Hey, is I wonder? I know they say it, but is actually the numbers? Do they actually draw the number on a piece of paper, or is there somebody actually telling them, "Hey, you're 1, you're 2, you're 3"? Or
oh, it's all
I just
prepared.
always want to know because they show that they're with the balls grabbing it out and stuff. But
they
is that
used to do that,
actually
they don't do
a
that
number?
anymore.
it's
So
all
It's
I'm sure
planned
it's
out.
just
It's
somebody
all
telling
it's
planned out.
them.
it's all planned out.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all
Everybody
planned
knows
out.
who's going to go out at what number, when you're getting eliminated, all that.
One thing I always wondered, though, good point, but I think that was more for the storyline with the drawing the balls and all that. But one thing I always wondered is, what if the winner, like the actual planned winner, accidentally got knocked over the top? Like, say the Bushwhackers came in there and when they were doing their goofy shit and knocked over Shawn Michaels in the '96 Rumble.
Right.
Like, then what happens? Like, is there a number 2 planned winner? I mean, what happens?
I mean, was that
Yeah.
Batista Cena? Wasn't that an accident or was that planned?
That
I
was an
never know
accident.
about that one.
No,
I guess it's an
no,
accident. That's what I've always
it
heard.
was an accident. Yeah, they said that it was an accident. That's why they put him back in there and restarted it. So,
And that's when
but
Vince blew out both his knees.
Yeah, he was
but if
pissed.
you're But if your winner was planned to be somebody and say they, flew over the top by accident, then what the hell do they do? You know?
Right.
And that's when Vince came marching in, like, do the bushwhacker, Will. That's
Ben,
when Vince
Ben, I'm
came
going to give you
marching
some
in like the
homework.
bushwhacker.
Ben Bowman, I'm going to give you some homework. When you see Bob, I need you to ask him what happens if the planned winner of the Rumble accidentally gets knocked over the top. What happens? Bob would know. Of all people, Bob would know.
Well, I remember, I don't know if it was maybe a few years, but you remember Naomi, she was trying to do one of those little spots or whatever, and she fell and she
Yeah.
was trying to stay. Of course, I don't think she would have won it, but I think she got eliminated faster than she was supposed to.
Also, too,
and
The Rock, Big Show. The Rock's feet
Yeah.
hit the ground first, and yet he still won.
Right?
Yep.
Yeah, Vince got pissed off when that happened with Cena and Batista and marched down like a bushwhacker. So
Yep. Oh, yeah. He was like,
he does. He got mad, threw his jacket, busted out his kneecaps.
Yeah.
yep.
All right, guys, we're gonna move on to our
Shane did
second.
that. Shane did that too. Remember Shane?
Yes, he
Shane
did.
got in the ring. Remember and blew a
Going
quad.
into the ring.
Because
Oh
Snoop
my
Dogg was
god.
like a genius and went on with he
Yeah.
went on with the show.
Yeah, he blew a quad, didn't he?
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
All right, now we're going to talk about your favorite non-Rumble match of any Royal Rumble area. Non-Rumble. So I'll go last again. Come on, Calvin, let's roll.
Well, it's a
So
match
I'm gonna
that happened at the Royal Rumble, but not
Right.
the Rumble itself. Okay.
Not the
Yeah.
Rumble, but a match at the Rumble.
So I'm going because I'm actually watching it right now. Rumble '99, Mankind versus The Rock. I Quit match for the WWF Championship.
Oh man, I love it. He handcuffs him behind his back and hits him in the head with the damn
With the
chair.
chair.
Oh wow!
Oh, I love
I thought
it.
he was dead. I did.
I love it.
You know the funny part to that wasn't he didn't actually say I quit.
Yeah. Yeah. It was
Yeah.
recorded.
It was
Yeah, it was
recorded.
Yep.
recorded. Yeah. I like that one. My turn. I'm gonna say
Yeah.
casket match '94, Undertaker and Yokozuna. Awesome match. Even though there was a lot of interference, but just the theatrics afterwards too, with the Undertaker's
Yes.
like spirit coming up above. As a kid, I watched it live on pay-per-view. As a child, it was like some freaky shit, but it was super cool. So I'm gonna say that would be my favorite.
No, I agree. Because as a kid, we didn't know it was Marty Jannetty going up in their afters.
Yeah, no clue. Thought the Undertaker spirit really come out of the coffin, and
Exactly.
the man was dead.
And I actually loved the interference. I just thought it just made it, that they needed the interference in order to get him down. All right, Roger. Oh hell.
That's my dog loves.
Okay.
Roger's
My
dog
dog-
loves the podcast.
My
Johnny.
dog loves Minnie Mouse, and Miss Sarah's watching. My dog loves Minnie Mouse, and he howls every time she sings.
Oh, that's funny.
Awesome.
So he's going off. All right.
Roger's dog loves TRC talk. I can tell you that.
Just come back to me till he shuts up.
All right, brother Ben.
2000 Triple H versus Cactus Jack street fight.
That's a
Okay,
good
yeah,
one, too.
good choice. All right, King. Yo, King, Phil.
Mine is the same as Calvin, that Rock match. I remember watching that as a kid live, and I was like, he didn't say I quit. That was a recording. Like you could just kind of hear it. Like if you just,
Yeah.
And so at that point, I didn't know, what was real and what wasn't, because he's taking real headshots,
Oh yeah.
So I'm thinking that they just said, he's taking too much. He's about to die out here. We got to just make the recording say it, because if not, he's done, That's what I thought was going on. So that's definitely one of my favorite matches of all time. So definitely one of my favorite Rumble matches. And then I watched some kind of documentary or whatever, but they was talking about how Mankind's kids was there and his mom was there, or his wife was there, and they had to like take him to the back and stuff. And
Well,
It's
that was
crazy.
on Beyond the Mat where they showed that too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You ever seen that, King Phil?
I don't know.
You
It's
need to
good.
get you a copy of Beyond the Mat.
Beyond the
Okay.
Mat. Yeah.
Good.
'Cause
Gotcha.
They
Right.
focus on that because they were talking to his wife and the kids, and they show him backstage. And then when he got the hell busted out of him, she left. They were in front row, right? And then she took
Yeah.
him and left.
Yeah.
Then they left. They took her to the back.
Yeah, make sure we post that in the chat too about reminding everybody to check out that Beyond the Mat because that was actually really good.
Yes,
Came
Yeah.
out
I
in
sure will.
came out in like 2001 maybe 2002
Yeah.
somewhere in there. Yeah.
I want to say
Roger.
2000, 99, 2000, right around that.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
A little bit.
From the 99 and 2000.
Roger,
All right.
what you got?
Mine's Royal Rumble '93. Bret
it.
Hart versus Razor Ramon.
Oh hell
For
yeah,
the
that's a good one
championship
too,
title.
man. Oh, that's a great one. That
Yeah.
was a great match too.
Yes, it
a
was.
awesome match. That's what I loved about it. Wasn't
It
so
was.
much the Rumble that year, although that's my favorite Rumble. That was a great singles match.
They did have that Shawn Michaels and Marty Jannetty match on that card too, and that was good too.
Yeah, that was the one with
Sherry.
Sherry as the neutral
Yep. That was good too.
manager. Yeah.
Yep.
So
Very good.
I'll go, but I don't have. I won't be long because Roger just took mine. It was the '93 Razor versus Brett. I love that match. That is a match that I can watch over and over. I would love to see that match. Actually, because Razor was just really beginning. So I would love to see an established Razor Ramon versus Brett where you would take Razor serious for the championship and have Razor beat Brett. And you know how much I love Brett. So,
Yeah.
but I'd love to see a match where it was a great match, but I'd like to see it where you knew it was more high stakes than it actually was back then in '93.
You know what's wild too is Razor Ramon was never in a Royal Rumble match.
Wow.
Yeah, never.
Never.
Nope.
Yep.
That's criminal.
It is.
Yep.
So that is
Yep.
that is
93. 93, he was in the world title match. 94, he was in the Intercontinental title match. 95, Intercontinental title match against Jarrett. 96, Intercontinental title match against Goldust. And after that, he was gone to WCW and WO.
Yep.
Never once
Never
in
once.
a Royal Rumble match.
But
Crazy, right?
but he did win a World War III match.
Yep.
He did win a World War III match. Yes, he did.
And never
in
98?
97.
What, he never got his
97.
championship match, right?
He got it at uncensored 98, but by then the push for him was gone and he lost his thing.
Damn.
Yeah, he was big
Because-
right there during that time.
I thought
he
they
was
were
supposed
having
to-
against Hogan. I thought they were going to have him beat Hogan.
Well, hey, remember after he won that World War III 97, they had Starrcade 97 when Sting won the title. They ended up putting it back on Hogan at sold out, and then it kind of became vacated. Then Super Brawl 98 became Sting versus Hogan instead of Scott Hall, where it should have been Scott Hall in that match or a three-way. They didn't do it. They waited till uncensored 98. By then, all the heat and momentum they had behind them was just gone.
Right. Guys, these have been great answers, and I love where they've led to extra questions and answers. I love just talking. We don't know where they're going to lead, so we'll leave them where they are. Let's get started on show and tell, right?
Hell yeah.
And I just got
Hey, Caleb, let me go last.
Yes, sir. I got one thing that I got to open tomorrow's my 50th birthday. So I got to open a early birthday present tonight. And this is what it is.
The Hitman,
Wow.
baby.
Woo, that's nice.
I love these things, but man, this is so awesome. I can't fit it all on my screen. Maybe if I blow my damn thing up and remember I'm controlling this place. Okay.
Yep. It's got that
Nice.
Rumble 93 jacket on, too. That's the Rumble 93 jacket.
Right?
Beautiful. Damn,
So that's what I got. I was allowed to open that. So that's the only thing I wanted to show.
Nice. Well, I got quite a bit, guys. I've been talking for a while about it, but I'm going to try to
Good.
keep it, keep it kind of trim. But
No, we're ready
up
for it tonight.
first, up
Yeah, take your
first,
time.
the
Look at
black
that beauty.
jacket, Bobby Heenan. I got this for Christmas from the guys, Brian and Kev. I had the original one, and they said, you know what, we think you need the Chase variant too. So I got the Bobby. Normally I would rip it apart and all that good stuff, but this one actually comes right out of the packaging. So
There's
I'm
no
just gonna
ripping,
pull it out.
right?
I don't even need to rip it. It literally just comes right out. So,
And you can
but
put it right back.
I'm not gonna put it back. It'll never
No,
go back in the packaging. But I love it. It's gorgeous, and he comes with the microphone. Beautiful.
beautiful.
You
Look
guys
at that.
know I love some Bobby Heenan for sure. So super excited about that. I told you guys I'm all about that retro line this year. Speaking of retro line, I can't remember if I showed you guys this one or not,
Oh
but I
no.
had to get
Oh, the.
had
Mm,
had to get me some Quebecers. So I really truly thought about keeping this like this and getting it signed, but I just can't do it. I've got to
mm.
do the old rip. So here we go.
Here we go.
Rip it.
That's
Here
remnants
we
of me
go.
last
Rip
week.
it.
Rip it. And those things aren't easy to rip.
They're not. They're actually built really strong. I mean, like, they do not want you to rip these packages open. I can tell you that. But you know what? We don't really care because we want to
We
get them
don't.
out and play with them. The glasses. They're glasses.
Awesome.
Nice.
I love they're very detailed. Look at that.
Quebecer Pierre.
Now, Will, are you going to
Yeah,
add tag titles to those?
I'm gonna have to. I'm gonna have to
Yeah.
Nice.
because they're three-time tag team champions, and literally, believe it or not, TRC has had both members of
Sure
the
have.
Quebecers as our guests. We've had PCO, and Ben had Mountie Jacques not too long ago. So there's the Jacques. I love it. Gorgeous. And next, Ben, look what finally came in the mail. It's been like a month. Look at that.
Woo! Finally.
Nice.
Beautiful.
Speaking of Royal Rumbles, guys. Speaking of Royal Rumbles, this is Razor's gear, his attire from the '94 Royal Rumble. And you know what we got to do?
Rip him.
Rip it.
My
See how
wife
easy
comes
that
home
one
and it's
was?
like, my wife comes home. It's like, why is all this crap all over the room? I'm like, I don't know.
Look at that.
Look at that.
Nice.
The bad guy. Definitely got to put an IC belt on there. But man, that's gorgeous from the '94 Rumble, my favorite Rumble of all time. Love it. And then I guess I'll just do one more. Huge
Do two
shout
more.
out to Mr. and Mrs. Elkins. They found this for me, and I love it, and I'm super excited to have it. And you know what we got to do?
Rip
Rip it.
it.
Rip it.
It looks good loose.
That's what she said.
Yeah. Hey,
Sorry.
notice that WWF title
Yep, I love it.
at the top.
Absolutely love it. Yeah, I love it.
Now, that would be the very, is it, to my knowledge, is that the very first WWW, second time? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember
That's
the
like
first
the
one was,
84 or 85 Hogan.
yeah, 84 and a half, maybe 85, because remember the first one had the red
Yeah.
background.
Yeah.
And this is the black background. So, and guys, I'm not gonna do it with this Mean Gene because I love this Mean Gene, but I am gonna take one of these commentator guys and I'm gonna pop the head off of the Bobby Heenan that came in the Weasel suit, and I'm gonna put it on one of these guys, and then make a custom Bobby. So, anybody that's interested in doing that, I'll post some stuff in the chat when I'm ready to do it. But super excited about that. And then I don't know if I talked about these before. I think I did, but I want to make sure I'm opening these. The
Oh,
Greatest Grudges '92. It's got the Warrior. It's got the Shango Ultimates. So as you can
rip it.
see, I'm way behind on opening a lot of these Ultimates up here. I'm way behind on opening a lot of these. So I got a lot to open, but I know for sake of time, we'll go on. Go ahead, guys. Somebody go next, but I'm definitely going to
King.
get back to it.
King Phil.
I have some metallic solo in here.
Nice.
That's gorgeous.
with the TRC blue.
Nice.
Yeah, that's damn right.
Nice.
Yeah. That's all I got.
I was gonna ask if you were one and done tonight.
Yes, sir. Back to business. You know, holidays are
Mr.
over
Jim
with.
Bowman.
All right. Just finally had a good mail day today lately. And here is you can never have enough of the wise man.
Oh, I like that one.
That's me.
The
That's
Paul
nice.
Heyman,
Nice.
11 by 14. And then, yeah, hold on. And then got this. I don't know if it's the glare, but it's a turnbuckle pad. And it's signed right here by Stacy Keebler. And how I was talking about earlier, see, my idea is either keep it or sell it, but my idea was to add Tori Wilson up here beside here, so you'll have the WCW, and then Lita and Trish,
Yeah.
then have it on the turnbuckle pad. And then
Plain.
Marin's got, well, we're just going to show, give me one. She's going to show, she's got a, as you can see, well, I don't know, right here, she has a ton of her toys right here. So she's got Freddy's all over. So she's got at Freddy for Christmas, and then we were able to. We had a miss last week, and then I wasn't for that show before. I wasn't here, but here at here with Marion, she's got all her Freddy toys. So she's got a ton from Christmas. So Santa hooked her up,
Nice.
and that's all we got.
All right,
Very cool.
Mr. Elkins.
Well, I got quite a bit. I got some
That's
good
fine.
mail days.
Good.
I got this
Love the
from
shirt,
Ben.
by the way.
Thank you.
Nice.
I got this from Ben today. I'm trying to keep it away from the glare.
Those are beautiful.
I can't wait to start getting it signed at
Nice.
Indy. Rock and Roll Express.
That'll look great signed.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, that's
If you
my
can get
plan.
Robert, Robert's not going around with him much anymore.
Yeah, I'm hoping I get lucky. Maybe if not at Indy, maybe at the Gathering, maybe if I'm lucky.
So, what color are you going to get him to sign that in?
To
I'm
me,
hoping I get
honestly,
lucky,
would
too.
probably be TRC blue
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking.
or a yellow, but I'm thinking TRC
Yeah.
blue.
Okay.
With those, Roger, I noticed that where they got that like gloss or that type of how it's, I guess it's made. Maybe I would suggest a dark color like that blue. Yeah, like what you said, the blue. But I would suggest a dark color. Because I think we
Okay.
tried. I tried one. I don't know in the past in like a light blue, and you could barely maybe see it. I'd suggest a dark one on those.
Okay. Then I got NXT Greatest Matches
That's
on DVD,
an awesome set.
and got from the TRC card set Smash
Oh yeah,
and
Smash
Axe.
Max.
Dun 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 dun.
So I've got all the cards so far that we've had from the TRC events that we've had cards so far. The Headbangers.
Yeah.
Love it.
Oh yeah.
That right there.
I always loved when they wore Marilyn Manson stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Crusher Khrushchev, and hopefully I can get Nikita to sign it,
That's
and that'd be a great one to get finished. The Great Khali. It's a photo
Nice.
file. Randy Orton.
Woo! OG photo file,
Okay,
baby.
that's what I'm
That
saying.
OG photo file is gorgeous.
It's beautiful.
Simpsons Demolition.
One
Rogers
of
and
the
Simpson.
one of the best edits that Ben had for them too.
That's
Man.
dope right there. Yeah, I
I
like
think
that.
it's sweet.
And then
Yeah.
the TRC edit.
Yeah, that's sweet too.
And then I got this from Will, Dr. Death, Steve Williams.
Super
I-
rare. So that was one of those promo photos that used to be on the wrestlers' tables
Right.
at events. That's what that is.
Yeah, I used to. He was one of my fan favorites back when I was a kid. Between him and the Von Erichs, they were the best.
So that's rare
Okay.
without the signature, but it's signed. But those
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And Too Cold Scorpio.
Ooh, I like that
Nice.
too.
amazing.
And I believe I've gone through these before, but
Who cares?
Oh,
Who cares?
yeah.
We can see that any time of the day. Look at that.
Exactly.
Roddy Piper, Rikishi.
Nice.
Cool.
I don't remember if this is a photo file or a promo. I think it's just a picture, right, Will?
Yep. It's just a picture, but that Piper was an OG photo file.
Yeah, that's an OG
Yeah, it
photo
was.
file. And then another Orton.
Nice.
Nice.
You can't have too many Ortons.
Hell no, you can't.
And then Nikolai Volkov from WrestleMania 2.
Nice.
I haven't looked to see if there's any on the back. Oh well. And then I got from Ben. Finally got a TRC logo signed.
That's awesome.
Very cool.
That's a one of
might-
one.
I might get a
Yeah.
couple more signatures on it, and then I'm gonna retire it. I might get shit. I should have sent this to you, Ben. My bad. But anyway, I got a WWF logo that I'll get a couple more signatures on.
Awesome.
Beautiful.
Nice.
Yeah, I love those project pieces. Roger's got a lot of the project pieces. Those
Yeah,
logos,
project
yeah.
pieces are the best. And this is one I was talking about earlier, Kev.
Oh, that's a hell of a piece.
I'm gonna get that signed at Indy.
You gonna get it
And
signed
then-
across his glasses?
Actually, I hadn't thought about that. I just might do that. That's a smart thought, Kev.
It's the only
And
one I ever have.
I know you guys can't see it, but it's a John Cena
Nice.
sign.
I can't see it. I'm sure it's nice.
It's nice, but I know you guys can't see it, but it's really nice.
That was the same live. You got that the same live that I got that damn one of one piece of John Cena
Yep.
that is
Yep.
gorgeous.
Sure did. Damn. I wish I'd have thought about that beforehand, Ben. I would have sent you that to get signed. Shoot.
You're gonna have plenty of opportunity this year, man.
Right.
Yeah, we got
You-
four talents already signed this year. It's a lot.
Let's
You
go.
done, Roger?
Yes, sir. That's it. Sorry. My
Okay.
bad.
Nice.
No, you're
And I-
fine. No, I wanna bring up just a quick subject of because you said you'd like to get Nikita Koloff signed on one, which
Yeah.
it would look great. You know, he's the only wrestler I refuse to meet.
Damn.
Oh yeah.
I'll tell you why, because I don't want. Every time I hear him talk on the interviews, I shut it off because my childhood's already been ruined when I found out he wasn't really Russian. So I cannot go up to that guy and hear his real voice. I have to know, unless I can get to him before and say, "Listen, just don't talk," or come up to me and say, "Hey, what you want?" or something, like he's gonna kill me. Because he's this big bad Russian sickle motherfucker that would beat your ass. And now you find out that he just talks normal, like Manuel does, and
Well, let's all just say here, Manuel isn't normal. So
well, I just said that's why I use Manuel as an example.
So you can picture Kev going up to get Koloff's autograph, right? And he's like, "Hey, how are you today? Shut the fuck up! Don't say anything. I just need you to sign this real quick. Just shut the fuck up."
yeah,
The guy be like,
just shut up.
gotta be
Sign
like-
this.
Right.
"What?" So
Unless you're talking in Russian, I don't want to hear it. Hey, guys,
He'd be like,
tonight-
"You need Jesus."
Yeah,
Exactly.
he would. He'd say,
He is like a
"Have you
preacher or
met your
something,
Lord
isn't
and Savior?"
tell me about the time you got kicked out of a wrestling convention for telling Nikolai or Nikita Koloff to shut the fuck up.
Yeah,
I can hear that. I can hear that story right now.
that would be a great story. That may happen. Stay tuned, guys. But
Yeah.
tonight's been a hell of a show, man. I've enjoyed it so much. So we're gonna go with
Hey.
Bill for our final message. Oh shit!
I
Yeah,
forgot
I
Calvin.
Calvin.
Forgot
Whoa.
Calvin.
Sorry. Damn.
Don't forget about Calvimania.
I'm sorry, bro.
I ain't gonna show but a couple of these.
I got you. There you go.
So I got a couple of these original magazine pages in.
Those are awesome.
Nice.
I ain't gonna show but a couple of them.
Nice. I
Coliseum
like
video
that.
advertisements.
Yeah,
And
love
then
that.
I got this.
Nice.
Yeah, nice.
Nice.
Look at
Rip
that.
it.
Yeah, that shit ain't happening.
Yeah. Good luck with that one. Got this from Will.
Scott Hall, baby.
That's
Scott
a
Hall.
beautiful figure.
Nice.
And then the best for last.
Nice.
Look at that.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
So that's it. But I'm slowly adding more autographs.
Very cool.
I think
that's
I'm up to
awesome.
like 20 now of Hogan.
Hey, we'll get to meet Hogan again soon. Whenever he
Yep.
has one, I'm coming down there. So,
But that's all I got.
all right. I'm sorry, I almost forgot you. Hell, my brain's in another place. So, all right, guys. Great night. Thank you all so much, and it's been great. And we'll go to Will for the closing message. It's yours, sir.
Great night, guys. So, huge thank you to everybody that tuned in last night as well as tonight. Ben and I do everything we can in our power to bring the best items every week, and definitely had a great night again last night with some great, tremendous items. Um, don't forget to check us out on Tuesdays at 8 o'clock, and then right back here on Wednesdays at 9 o'clock as well. Huge excitement going into this Friday. I'm really looking forward to seeing Ric Flair. Can't wait to post in the chat the things that I've got done. I'm getting some stuff that you wouldn't normally see. I'm not getting anything that's mainstream that you see all over other pages, all over the internet and stuff. I'm getting some really exclusive stuff done and super excited to show that. So if you ever were looking for some Ric Flair, now's the time to hold off and check out what we're getting done on Friday. Also, huge shout out to Ben Bowman. Got SoCal Val coming in very soon. Got Bob Orton coming in soon. So if you haven't done your pre-orders, get those in very quickly. And I'll leave you with this parting message. I would say this. You know, do what you enjoy. Spend time doing what is fun for you and do it with the folks that you cherish around you because everything is all about the hourglass, guys. So definitely focus on doing the things you enjoy. And I'll leave you with that message. So have a great week,
Amen.
everybody. We'll see you guys on Tuesday and Wednesday. Appreciate everybody.
All right, bye, guys.
Bye, guys.